Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, South West London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB, and we're here this morning to judge the latest midweek car competition, which ran from the 27th of August to the 2nd of September 2020. And just before I hand over to our lawyer Charlotte this morning, once again, massive congratulations to last week's winner of the BOTB midweek car competition, Paul Hewitt, winning an absolutely incredible Porsche Macan 2 litre. I'm now going to pass over to Charlotte Houston from Onside Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's Charlotte Houston from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditors, Wilkins Kennedy. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. Then at the end, each judge will justify their position and the group will then come to a final panel decision. First up, Alain Goma.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Hi, my name is Aramin Donka. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, first as a player and then as a referee.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee after 23 years. I'm currently a referee observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Good morning, my name's Peter Giorgio. I am a futsal and football referee.
Good morning, my name is Roger Wheeler. I'm a referee and I've been refereeing and lining for more than 30 years.
Thanks, judges. If you could now each individually justify the position of your cross on the central screen, starting with Alain, if you could please justify the position of your cross.
Yes, thanks, Charlotte. We've got three players on the shots. I think on plan, the ball is between the player on the right-hand side with the red and white shirts and the player with the green shirts. I think it's slightly closer to the player in green, and I think he's going to play the ball. When you look at the play on the right-hand side with the red shirts, I think he's got his arm in front of him. He's kind of protecting himself, and he looks like he stopped his run. So I think the player with the green shirt is going to play. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Maybe chest it, maybe head it. I'm not sure really, but I think he's the favorite one to play the ball. The third player in the back, has nothing really to do with the action. He's just looking at the ball from the back. The player in green is looking slightly up diagonally, and while the player with the red shirt on the right hand side, I think is looking slightly backwards on the side. Yeah, based on that, I decided that the center of the ball was where I put my cross.
Thank you. Ari, if you could now please justify the position of your cross.
Thanks, Charlotte. My cross is the green one. Well, we have three players in the shot. The player in the red in the back is just looking at the general play. I felt that the ball over here is between these two players playing in green and white and playing red on the right side. I felt that the ball just bounced in front of them. There's a gap in between these two players of 1.5 yards possibly. And the player in green is on the move. He's moving towards the ball. The player in red on the right side, I think he's preparing a strong stance. I can see this by his body language, fisting his wrist over there. And I feel he's preparing to place himself in front of the player in green, blocking him to reaching the ball. And then the ball will pass in front of his head and then possibly control the ball. And they are doing all that, looking at the ball where both eye lines cross. That's where I believe the center of the ball should be.
Thank you. Liam, if you could please justify the position of your cross.
Okay, my cross is the blue cross, and my reasons for that are, regards the green player, I feel he is running towards the ball. You can see his head he lacks in a little bit of natural height, shall we say, and he's looking up. His eyes are to the left. His body is shaping to the left as well. That he's going to be. That's where he's going to be looking to challenge for the ball. the red player behind taller player, and his eye line is just coming over the top of the guy in front of him, the green player. But he gives just a slight bit of elevation to the height of the ball for me, his eye line. And then you've got the red player to the right, who is standing static. By his body stance, for me, he's looking to possibly head through the ball. And he just appears to be looking back slightly. And that's they're the reasons for where I put my cross where I did.
Thank you. Peter, if you could please justify the position of your cross.
Mine cross is the orange cross. Like my colleagues, there's three players in shot. We have one at the back, which is a red and white player, looking through the back of the green player in the middle, and then we have the player on the right. As we look at the screen, he's forward, and then he's looking over his shoulder back towards the ball. An interesting photograph because the ball, I think, is in front, so it's very hard to justify the eye lines of and then crossing them. So what I've done is I think the ball is in the forefront, in between the green and the player on the right, and I've used their eye lines to cross where my centre of the ball will be, which is the orange. And I agree that I think all the two players in front are the ones in the action. Not too sure exactly what's happened. I agree with the player in green. He may be favourite for the ball, but again, player in red is also body language looking. He's trying to get involved in some shape, form, or size. But centre of the ball is where I put my orange cross.
Thank you. And Roger, if you could please justify the position of your cross.
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. As we said, we've got two red players who I took to be defenders, and I believe the ball has come in from the right-hand side of our picture. The red player at the back, he's sort of shaping up there, but I don't think he's going to necessarily be involved. But he's got the best sort of panoramic view of what's going on, and he's looking just above the head of the green player. I felt that maybe the red player on the right, where the ball has come in, he's actually twisted. He's twisted his head around, and sort of where he's looking, he's just catching up with the ball. And then we've got the green player who is shorter than the rest. He is clearly the one that is going to be the one that's going first for the ball, and he's looking up, and the ball is obviously dropping slightly. As Peter said, I think the three different eye lines don't exactly match up, so I've placed my grey cross where I believe the ball is.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 5 individual selections.
Okay, let's start by drawing a few lines. I think, it's we got quite a narrow band, from the player on the right hand side. It's a bit wider, from this player. I'm going to start with this one. Oops, it's this one. I'm playing green now. I'm going to do both sides because I think it's, they're looking in in different direction. So let's start with this one. Another one. Okay, I think we all agree, more or less. The player in green, is going to play the ball, and as some of us said, I think the ball is kind of bouncing, and they're going to probably the player in green is more favorite to attack the ball. Um, so we've got from this player from this side, we've got basically a line. We've got four crosses aligned, and we've got Ari, who's slightly higher than us. So Ari, can you explain why you went a bit more
A bit
higher?
higher, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt that the ball came through the air, bounced hard on the floor, and went higher. And I felt that the player in red, he is preparing. You can see by his body language. You would only be like that, like stiffing up, and he's looking on like on almost on the corner of his eyes.
Yeah.
And he's seeing where the ball is going to go. His ball is in the air. The player on the left hand side, the green and white, is rushing to the ball. But I felt that the player in red is putting himself in between the ball and letting the ball pass above his head to control the ball. That's why if for example the ball should be where Roger put the cross, he wouldn't have this distance. He would be attacking the ball because
Yeah.
he was too low for him to he wouldn't be blocking the player. He would attack the ball, but
Yeah.
he's not attacking the ball because he knows that the ball is going to pass above him if he blocks the player in green. That's why I felt that, and he's looking high enough for me to see that possibly it could be there.
So this player,
Yeah.
you're talking about, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got your point. And on the opposite, Roger, you put your cross, you're the lowest one. So
Yeah.
can you give us your thoughts?
Well, I think I was led by the red player on the left first of all. As I said, he doesn't look like he's going to be immediately involved, and therefore he's sort of back slightly from the action and has what I call the panoramic view of what's happening. And his eye line looks to me as if he's just looking above and round the green player. And on that basis, the ball is a little lower than the other four.
So you took your information mainly from this player?
Well, that was where I started, yes.
Okay.
The other thing is, as I say, I think I get the impression that the other red player possibly was twisting his body because he was adjusting. The ball had perhaps gone past him, and then he was adjusting to go for it. So I'm not quite sure whether his eye line would be 100% because of the fact he had just sort of twisted his head.
Okay. No, I got your point. I think personally, looking at this player, I don't think to me he's looking that low. And on the same token, I don't think he's looking that high neither. I think it would be more towards here. But at the end of the day, when you look at the average, you two crosses cancel each other.
Yeah.
So Liam, I think you were in between these two. Can you explain your thoughts?
I agree with what everyone's saying. Realistically, with the eye line of the red player on the right, that's given us the passageway. I think you called it, Alan. And it's just about where we feel, it's the height of the ball. If I agree with what Ari, I just made a couple of notes here. What Ari's comments regarding the red on the right, that he could possibly be looking to turn his body and block the player to let the ball go through. For me, I just felt he was static and he was looking to head through the ball. That was just my opinion on that. again, you know, we're all in the middle there. We're right. Perhaps, you know, Harry might be a little bit high. It's a little bit high for me. Sorry, Roger, but yeah, possibly a little bit low. But as Alan, you referred to, the average gives it smack bang in between those two guys.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that if you take both those guys out, I don't think it's going to alter the average a great deal.
Okay, let's try actually to remove these two.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't change at all.
Doesn't change it.
I put it back. Yeah, it's the same position. So if I put the ball on top of the cross, so it covers one cross basically, and we've got basically the red and the blue that cancel each other, and we've got the green and the gray that cancel each other also. So I think the average, and if I'm going to put some lines. I'm going to remove these lines and put some new lines towards the average, just to see from his nose, top of his nose. Okay. So I think that works with him, That works with him also. And I think the player in the background is quite far. So, I can't, we can't really rely on, the way he's looking at. I think it's quite far.
I felt that the player on the back is mainly looking of what his teammate is about to do. So he's looking across. And so he's trying to see what he can do about this play. Yeah.
So if I put the ball back on the average, I think when you look at the crosses, I think it works because as I mentioned, the green and the gray cancel each other, the red and the blue cancel each other. The orange is nearly on the spot. So I think for me personally, it works. So I don't know for you guys. What do you think, Peter? What's your thought? I think you is nearly on your cross, I would say.
Yeah, the average I think is good. Like the other guys have said, it cancels the green and the white, which justifiably have their positions. But I just felt that the ball was in between those two players, the green and the red on the right, and because there was no rule, it was basically in between them, and I'm happy with the average white cross.
Okay, I'm happy with it too. Ari, I think it's a bit lower than what you thought, but are you happy with the average as it is?
Yeah, in terms of the compromise, yes, I would prefer to be slightly higher, obviously, but I agree with the compromise.
Okay, perfect. Liam?
Yeah, I concur. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, Roger?
Yeah, Alain, I would agree with the compromise, most certainly.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so if everyone agrees, we're going to judge with the average. I'm going to remove these. Okay, Charlotte, we are happy with this decision.
Thank you, judges. If you're all happy, then please can you click submit?
Yep.
Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are 1508 and 607. These coordinates will now be passed to Wilkins Kennedy to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.